Bridge 5. Bridge 1 Morning Bath Ritual. For Bridge 1, I came up with the theme, Morning Bath. It's a totally new idea for me, a slice of life that I've never lived before. But at the same time, it feels so specific, delicate, and everyday. When I first started this project, I was both unfamiliar with it and curious, could someone else's morning ritual be the starting point for my own expression? With that question in mind, I dove into a lot of research. I read texts, watched videos, studied artworks, and even looked at documentaries about morning routines in both Chinese and Western cultures. I paid special attention to how different cultures approach the pace of life, the use of space, and how people organize their personal time. Through all this, not only did I start imagining what the daily life of my fictional character Beth might look like, but I also began to understand more about the concept of everyday life. During the creative process, I tried to translate these research contents into a visual zine, combining different images through collage, also tried to depict my imagination of Beth's mornings in ways such as drawing. I think Morning Beth is a very suitable starting point, which opens up a new way of thinking about creation, and makes me realize that art creation does not necessarily have to start from self-experience. Bridge 2. New Ritual for a New Self. In Bridge 2, I continued the theme of Bridge 1 and continued to think and create around Morning Beth. The difference is that this time, instead of just imagining the life of the other Beth, I started to turn my perspective back to myself and think about what my morning means. At the beginning, I made 2 mind maps with Morning Beth as the key word, trying to deconstruct the meaning behind the word from different angles. One was centered on morning, thinking about the emotions, actions, and physical states associated with morning. The other was centered on Beth, exploring identity, characterization, and cultural background. These 2 mind maps helped me to see more clearly that when I was thinking about Beth, I was also interested in the themes of rituals, bodily experience, and daily habits. I then brainstormed and wrote down all the scenes and feelings I felt related to mornings, bodies, and rituals. In the process, I realized that for myself, taking a shower in the morning is a very important ritual. It's not just about cleansing the body, it's more like a way to wake up, reboot, and have a conversation with myself. I began to take short written notes every morning after my shower about how my body felt, my emotional state, and the impact of the process. After a few days, I realized that not only were these records somewhat coherent, they also reflected the fluctuations and changes in my mental state from day to day. This project made me reflect on the fact that while we can start from other people's lives in our creative endeavors, the ultimate meaningful expression often comes back to our own real experiences. The theme of everyday life actually hides a lot of details and emotions that are worth digging deeper into. Bridge 3. Threshold Ritual. In Bridge 3, I worked with Ashley on the Threshold Ritual, also known as the Ritual of Small Wonders, which was a very meaningful group collaboration that not only continued my previous exploration of daily rituals, but also allowed me to experience how ideas can collide and merge in group work, and even spark new ideas for each other. It was a very meaningful group collaboration that not only continued my previous exploration of everyday rituals, but also allowed me to experience how ideas can collide, merge, and even inspire each other to come up with new ideas in a collective work of art. Our group's goal was to turn those overlooked moments of everyday life, such as entering a room, starting work, or lingering during a break, into small ritualized moments. We hoped to turn these ordinary moments into imaginative ones through simple movements or imaginative exercises. During the collaborative process, I was mainly involved in organizing the mind map and drawing the final picture. I think this project emphasizes fun, and we hope that this ritual is not only a part of creation, but also a small game that can be applied to real life. I think this is an important point in my creative path. It makes me understand the meaning of participatory design and makes me realize that sometimes a small question or imagination can open up a whole new view of the world. Bridge 4. For the culture? In Bridge 4, I tied a ribbon to the traffic light in front of the school and made a whiteboard near the school with 4 words written in Chinese for culture. The starting point for this idea came from my ongoing exploration of ritual. I began to think, what if rituals were not just a personal experience, but also an invitation to be open to others? At Parsons, a creative and culturally diverse campus, everyone comes here for culture, whether it's fashion, art, or visual expression. Therefore, through a very simple gesture, I hope to evoke a reflection on why we are here. I chose to write these 4 words in Chinese to create a visual tension and collision between cultures. It is an unfamiliar linguistic symbol to most people in the audience, but it is a reflection of the culture itself. And for those who know Chinese, it can directly trigger a semantic resonance. My goal was to make this not just my personal expression, but a way to provoke a response. Therefore, I observed the students and passersby, and watched them write down their understanding of the world or themselves. This is actually a kind of on-site mini-ritual as well as a kind of interactive installation art. This project made me realize that a ritual does not necessarily need to be a complicated form. It can also be a word, a piece of fabric, a gaze. It can also be a word, a piece of fabric, a gaze. And when this form is placed in a place with cultural tension, it will inspire meaning. Bridge 5. The Poster Bridge 1 to 4. Bridge 5 is a process of retrospection and integration. I created a poster on black cardstock to bring together the projects, inspirations, processes, and fragments of my memories from Bridge 1 to Bridge 4 throughout the semester. For this poster, I explored the process of relationships between ritual, the body, culture, and the other. The poster explores the process of the relationship between ritual, body, culture, and others. From the beginning of Morning Beth, I started from a completely unfamiliar perspective, imagining the rituals of another person's life. To Bridge 2, I started to look back at myself and record the concrete and real experience of taking a bath. To Bridge 3, we made rituals easy, fun, and communal by working together in small groups. And to Bridge 4, it was a real going out experience. Bridge 4 was a real outreach, where I used a ribbon that said for culture to send an invitation to the whole campus. In the process of making the posters, I also began to think about how all these seemingly different projects are, in fact, centered around a core idea of giving new meaning to everyday life through creativity.